This is a Self-Love Saturday video. Whoop whoop. I have to travel, and I also wanted to make a video, but I really didn't have the time to do a whole setup. So I figured you guys are just gonna see me in my real and raw, messy clothes that I have on, because these are just, you know, those home clothes that you wear when you're like, okay, it doesn't really matter. I can spill things on this. I can do a lot with this. Well, this is what I got on because I'm packing. I had to edit an audition today. I made some banana bread. I did some all, you know, different things. I'm currently in Toronto. I'm flying back to Los Angeles. I was in London before getting to Toronto. I've been away from LA for basically a month, but let's pack and answer one of the many questions that were left on a video maybe nearly 3 videos ago. But nonetheless, you guys know that I'm trying my best. And this question, I really liked it. Basically, how do you thrive when you're thriving? Which is essentially, how do you avoid self-sabotage? How do you avoid getting in your head when all the things that you've really wanted and really thought about and really dreamed and worked really hard for start to actually happen? I am working desperately hard on having fully functioning closets in multiple parts of the world. That's another story for another video, but I think you can only thrive when you are thriving, when you acknowledge some of your fears, some of your worries, just some of the what ifs. Because that's basically what will kind of clear that energy, is thinking, you know, sometimes we think the worst. Sometimes we start to disbelieve. Sometimes we've been surviving for so long that when we start to thrive, we're confused by it. We don't even believe it's actually happening. And we're waiting for the other shoe to drop the entire time. And that is the worst thing you can do. I was having a conversation with one of my friends who's going through a challenging financial time. She is truly walking by faith in her life. And I think we all do that all the time because, like, look at our economy. Like, the challenges of your finances right now, that's everybody I know. But my friend is, like, really kind of going through it. And she was kind of like, oh, you know, like, when I have the money, I always pray to God, like, when I have the money that I want, like, I'm not going to spend it like that person or like that person or like that person. And I was saying to her, I was like, you shouldn't actually think like that. Because in reality, when you get the money that you really are desiring, it will elevate your life in general. Like, you will just be elevated in every section of your life with this money. The money is going to come and go like this, and every part of your life will elevate. So the kinds of things that you want to spend money on will look a lot different. You won't want to be in survival mode anymore. You'll actually want to thrive. So it's not about praying to remain the exact same person that you are, because this version of you will be much better with money than that person over there. Don't even judge. Just kind of know that when it comes, every single part of me will elevate along with this money. That's a thought that I have in my head. But I put that back to when you are thriving in life. And you've been praying about it, you've been thinking about it, you've been dreaming about it. Like, when I get to this day, what will it look like? How will it feel? Hopefully, you've done some pre-work with manifesting, meaning you envisioned this. You thought about this. You dreamed and wrote down and daydreamed and planned this current state that you're in, where you're thriving, okay? And that manifesting that you did before, hopefully you did it in a way where you could feel it, like really feel it, really think about it, really envision it, so that when it starts to happen for you, you're kind of like, wow, is this weird? But these feelings are actually very familiar to me, because I've actually been putting myself in this place already, like time and time and time again. I just kept putting myself in this place. That's how I kind of see it. That's at least what happened to me. I was in survival mode for a long time, and then I got to thriving mode. I'm still in my thriving era, and I frequently look at this version of myself and I say, oh my gosh, you're her. You are her. I envision this version of myself so many times, like just the way that I feel, the way that I feel about myself, the way that I feel about my future, the way that I feel even in moments when it's not going how I would like, but this version of me was more prepared for those moments than this person before that was in very much in survival mode. Often I feel like I'm going like this versus like as if it's completely brand new. And so I try my best to be very present in that feeling, which helps me to thrive. Does that make sense? I'm going to try and think about that. I try my best to, instead of worrying about what's going to happen or if this is going to stay or all of that kind of stuff, I rather think about the fact that I am currently living and feeling and being and looking and acting like a version of myself that I pictured for a really long time. Like a really long time. Like since I was a little girl. Like just picturing this version of myself. So to be here and matching her, it feels good. And so that's what helps me to thrive. And to no longer feel like I have to survive. The survival looks very different now because I have elevated myself into a different space. And I've been doing the work for so long that just kind of putting your head down and one step in front of the other, one step in front of the other, believing that I live in an abundant life. I have everything that I need around me, that I have the people that I need around me, that there is no problem that I can't solve. All of those kinds of things are me thriving. Are me getting to my thriving mode. So being in this space, yeah, it makes it easier. Does that make sense? That's why I think that question is so interesting, because I think we all kind of can feel like that when stuff just starts to work out and you're in such shock because it's felt for so long like as if it wasn't, or it was going to be really hard. So ultimately, I think when you are in a space, when you recognize that you are thriving now, feels good, whoop whoop, I think it's important to be present and not worry that the other shoe is going to drop or something's going to happen, but rather acknowledge that you are prepared, you are ready, you are here because you deserve, you are here as a seasoned person, not just as somebody just handed you a bunch of gold and now you're going to fumble it. You're actually not going to fumble it. You're no longer in survival. You're thriving. You are in complete thriving mode. And so even when some ups, some downs, all that kind of stuff, it looks completely different to it did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago. You are a different person now. You've elevated. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know what you guys think about that question. How to thrive while you're thriving. And then these are just some of the little things I would think. Treat yourself. Rejoice. Congratulate yourself. Feel the feeling of feeling like I'm thriving, and that feels really amazing to me. Don't be so hard on yourself. Know that you will thrive again and again and again, that you will elevate again and again and again. Like that's just going to happen. You've proven it to yourself. Or you know what? I kind of see it as like aging. I'm in an age and a stage in my life where it's like I just know that it gets better and better with time. Like I understand the concept of wanting certain things by a certain age, but I also understand how much that doesn't really matter. And more so I look at these things as just like, I just want certain things. And so I want to build the kind of life where I get those things no matter what age they come to me at. But it took me getting to this stage of my life to learn that and to understand that and to process that. So that's also how I see kind of thriving. It took me a lot of years and a lot of work to get to a space where I was thriving and felt like I was thriving, because that was more important. Felt like I was thriving. So now, because of the work that I've done and how seasoned I feel, I know how to maintain that. And I know what to do if something happens that I didn't expect. Because life is like that. You're going to get stuff that you don't expect. Hopefully this isn't just kind of a long random rant, but You guys know what I mean. I think you know what I mean. Anyway, if you have a question that kind of goes within this, or even not, leave it in the comments below. But yeah,